Hey all, it's your girl Fee, bringing you authentic conversation to feed your soul and make you whole. Welcome to a little of this and a little of that. So what is this all about? It's about real talk, real stories, and real growth. It creates an open space for honest conversations.
Hey all, it's your girl Fee, bringing you authentic conversation to feed your soul and make you whole. Welcome to another episode of A Little of This and A Little of That, the Elevate podcast. We started the podcast because, Greg, we always have something to say in terms of people. Everybody have an opinion. And what happens is that a lot of us remain silent because we are afraid of offense. And I think we cannot grow without getting people offended and being offended, and And Absolutely. I think one of the things I love about the podcast, why I wanted it, is that we can just be authentic, apologize when we have to, but just say. Let me just say the simplest one that somebody was struggling when I had the spa. Somebody walk in, she was so excited to find Coconut Village Spa. Yo, you know, if you turn off your phone, put it on silent.
I got it.
So
I translated it. Turn your damn phone off. That's the.
So she wanted to say she was so excited to find a black-owned spa.
Yep.
And she was just fumbling all over. And I thought, are you trying to say that you heard that I'm black? And she's like, yeah, I just don't know the right word. I do appreciate our consciousness, but a lot of it prevents conversation from happening.
Absolutely.
So we are now talking today about the election. Because why?
Because it's so important to each and every resident in this town. And we see this bombardment on social media. You know, this is negative, this is positive, and then with blocking and wiping out certain dissenting opinions, we get just one side of every story in many cases. And I think we need to have open and honest discussions and disagree on things. You and I disagree on quite a bit of things, but we also agree on a lot of things. And I think it's important we talk about that.
And that's what the podcast is about today. It's election talk that brings the community voice to the table. Not because we are going to cover everything that matters to you. You probably even listen to this and none of it mattered to you, because that's about life. Some things going to hit, some won't. And you just move on. Find whatever connects with you. So Greg, I want to make a quick disclaimer as well, because you and I were many different hats.
Yes.
We're both sitting here. I'm sitting here as the podcast host, and you know me already. Me just Phiona. And Greg, so in different capacity in the town, where Greg is sitting here as just Greg Smith.
Absolutely.
Not anything else.
Nope.
Right? So whatever is said today is from Greg, not his affiliation with anyone. And similarly, sometimes I may draw from work that I've done, especially in the rural Black community. And I would be very specific to that to say, not thus says ABC, but thus says my experience in working there. Make sense?
Absolutely.
So let's welcome our guests. We're here today. We have two candidates and we have an amazing other podcast host. And you will meet them in a little bit, because hopefully they will brave and come on camera to answer a little questions here and there. Is anybody from the beautiful audience we have today want to share why they joined before we even get started? Who wants to do that? Okay, so we'll get both of them. So,
hi everyone. First, thank you, Phiona and Greg, for inviting me and having me on this podcast, or having me as a guest to speak here today. I really appreciate the engagement. I'm a candidate for Ward 1 Councillor. My name is Rocco Marcillo, if I didn't say that before. And I'm really involved in the community. I want to make a difference in the community, and that's why I'm running for councillor in Ward 1. I feel that the community involvement at the municipal level is the most important above provincial and federal. I think this is where, the meat and potatoes of our lives are. And I really want to get involved and help the community to thrive in Aurora. I moved here, 2003, and I started a young family here, and I want my kids to be able to enjoy Aurora the way I did in 2003.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, hi, I'm Mary Jo Neighbors. I was born here in Aurora. I have come to learn, similar to what Rocco said, that municipal politics are arguably the most impactful on your lives. But in general, not just Aurora, but all over, people are fairly apathetic when it comes to municipal elections. So I'm here because I'm really excited that there's people engaged, like the hosts, and trying to get these conversations going so that we can get Aurora more involved in the things that really will impact our lives directly.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nikki Alber. I'm a counselor, running for counselor in Ward 3. And I think this is really important because I see a lot of division in the community. I think people see things as black and white and they aren't able to meet each other in the middle. I think it's really important that we focus on the things in the gray, the things we can all agree on that matter to us, but also that we're able to talk about things that we don't agree on. We're able to respectfully disagree and maybe even see each other's point of view. And so that's why I think these conversations are really important. I'm excited to be a part of it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. This is important. And of course, I want to acknowledge this amazing space by my sister, Eunice. She's the business owner for the spa, Angie Adjacent Spa. And to your point, what you just shared about municipal election is home. It is truly home because it does take a village. And here we are today.
Absolutely.
When someone opens your door. Can you imagine a person say, yo, here's my key. Go open up the place and sit down and do your thing. It doesn't just happen. It happens on relationship building. So big up yourself, Eunice, and we will get going. So Greg, what you want to talk about? Where you want to start? How you want to start? What you want to talk to?
Well, there are so many key things that we need to talk about. I would say the first one is, how do we get people to pay attention, be engaged, be informed, and then ultimately get out and vote?
Okay.
What do you think are the things that we as residents can do, should be doing to make that happen?
Greg, I'm going to make a disclaimer quickly. So guys, my disclaimer before I answer
Okay.
My disclaimer before I answer the question is this. I really have no reservation about being afraid to upset people. That's the first thing.
Yep.
But as I said before, it's on you to say, Phiona, what you said came off a little bit disrespectful. It made me uncomfortable or whatever it is.
Right.
And I can say, yo, I'm so sorry. Not what I meant to do.
Right.
But this is really what I'm thinking and this is what I'm experiencing and I want to say it.
Yep.
So to that point is, and I'm glad some of the candidates are here because, Greg, a laziness is the problem. You know lazy?
Yes.
Lazy. Okay, we say lazy. Laziness. So it's laziness. What we see happen is that you can find a candidate, a counselor who would be knocking door around the season of election. We take the intentionality, we gather the people, we get the different people that whether do fundraise, help you to knock door, do your social media. We create a team.
Right.
Why on earth we dissolve that and that doesn't exist after we get a seat?
Absolutely.
So why the hell should I come in and want to get engaged when all this seems so self-serving?
Yes.
But mind you, people and candidates and whomever, you see if for a minute you would make it a conscious effort to knock on doors even once every 6 months. Yo, I'm just checking in. Yo, I have my team of volunteers going out to check the doors. Do you know that an important meeting is coming up? What's up? What's going on? We have no engagement.
Yep.
As a result, if people don't feel valued and a part of the process, and we're just a checkbox when you want the numbers on 4 years from now,
Right.
then why am I going to get engaged?
Yep. I think that's a fair comment. And I'm gonna step back. A lot of people know personally my struggles with our current mayor, but I'm gonna go back to 2014, and my wife and I helped the mayor become a counselor in town. And one of the things, when I remember clearly sitting having a beer with him, we discussed about being engaged with the community after the election. in between during election cycles. And so if you recall, he used to go and he'd post a selfie at the corner of two streets and I'm on X street. And he would do that for months and months and months after he won. And I commend that. That's to your point. And everybody thinks I kind of negative on the mayor, but I actually recognize that he does some very good things. Now, I agree with you. We just can't just all of a sudden turn on social media and not post for 3.5 years, and all of a sudden it's election time, and now I'm engaged on social media. For me, it doesn't work that way. I agree with you.
We're talking about social media. And it is something that I'm having a problem with. I'm really having a problem with that.
Absolutely.
Because diversity is so important. And diversity is not simply you're black, I'm a white, and whatever. It's a lived experience, it's perspective, and different ideas that are so unique that come together and solve a problem.
Absolutely.
But also because of our diversity and how we are brought up, what bothers you doesn't bother me.
Correct.
What looks like an obstacle to me is a solution for me. So here's my question, and I'm going to put that to the audience if anybody wants to participate. And if we're engaging you too much, you let us know. But before I ask you, I'm going to find out if anybody out here wants to answer this for me. Do you rely on social media to get information from your elected officers, your elected people? By the show of hand, who say social media is where I'm going to go to hear about what's happening in my town or from my councillor or from my mayor? Who does anybody make that their point is where they go?
A little bit.
A little bit. For you?
I rely on social media to find out about community events.
Okay.
Nikki said, I rely on it, to find out what's happening in the town.
Okay.
Not necessarily engaging with local politicians.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't, generally speaking, because I find it's very biased. It's very one-sided, generally speaking, and the moderators can, allow comments, hide comments, block people, whatever. So I think it's a poor way. In fact, I did have a conversation recently with somebody, and if I was to run for municipal candidate, I think one of my platforms would be, I'm elected, I will not be engaging on social media. I may share that the Legion's hosting this or whatever, but if you're going to tag me about the pothole or this or whatever, I'm going to let people know that is not what I'm going to do.
Greg will have it, guys.
We have ways to let the town know there's a problem with your pothole. Okay. It's not by tagging us. And that's social media has become kind of an easy crutch for a lot of people.
Yeah, I like that. And I will add this. Nobody owns social media.
Right.
If it shuts down tomorrow, what's going to be our new argument? That you didn't post on something else?
Yeah.
Right? So I feel that when I hear people, and I keep saying, I'm already going to make the disclaimer one time already. I'm not going to keep saying it. If I say something and it's offend you, this is just my thought. It's not personal, okay? But I find that me coming to social media for a resource is a waste of time. It's not the best. So whether or not you block me or delete me, I don't make problem that.
Right.
I really don't care. Because what I see have happened though, guys, which is really serious, or any counselor, and I'm talking about proof. I'm talking about things that I've experienced and witnessed. Email you from the town of Aurora's email, where your tax dollar is paying for, and said, delete me from your email, don't email me, to a community resident. That's an issue. You delete me from Facebook and friend me and it's like, bye, see you later. You get what I'm saying? But you better not mess with me when I email you about my issue. Because that's what my tax dollar is paying for, not social media. And even if our tax dollar is paying for social media to post something, then that's where counselors have failed. Greg, we had 4 years to fix certain things before the next election. And I want you to talk to me about that. Because I saw that if we want social media to be off the what do you call it, off the table?
Right.
When it comes to election time, somebody should have already. And if it was put out there, somebody please share with me, because I'm too busy to keep up with all of the things I might not know. Can you show me that someone is open emotion or whatever the fancy thing that needs to be done to say, we're making a new policy that when it comes to election, no social media for, say, this is not where we post municipal issues.
Right.
Put some laws around that.
Well,
when you are an active candidate, or you are, because the mayor may remain the mayor during election. It's not like provincial and federal where they have to kind of step aside, which again, it's something that I think our town could have looked into and said, we want to adapt that policy, because then we make it a level playing field for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? How do you distinguish what is a campaign from what is a mayor out there doing what he always does? It's not easy.
Absolutely.
But we didn't put any policies in place. We wait until the 4 year comes. Then we're like, I'm not the best swimmer. So I can only think that, you're gasping for air trying to float. Then it becomes an argument.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in separation of church and state. And I believe,
in layman terms, what is church and state?
Church and
I
state?
understand that.
what that means is that the state would be town's business and town's issues, but the church is more personal. It's more individual opinions and ideas. And so I think one of the biggest challenges we have a code of conduct for the council. And there's specifically a code of conduct on how they deal with social media during election periods. And the challenge, I think, is enforcement of the rules. And if you look, I'll give you an example. The mayor of Richmond Hill, just down the road, David West, set up a separate social media, Vote David West, and it has no mention that he's currently the mayor or anything like that. And that's where all of his posts about election and endorsements and all we have, whereby all through this last 8 years, any announcement that's happened by the town has first come out on the mayor's own page. So we don't even have the town's social media to be the people to break and share information with us. It's being done by somebody who eventually is going to be a candidate again. So when you go back and you look in somebody's social media history, it's almost impossible to separate what was campaigning and electioneering versus doing the mayor's job. And since he did it all for the last 3 years, the rules, the interpretation of the rules say it's okay because he's just doing what the mayor does. But I agree with you 100%. And lots of other jurisdictions follow the spirit of that rule.
Let me ask you a question, because what you said is very valid. Let me ask you a question. And I probably want to caution us because we don't know how people will take it. We're not here to be talking about another city's mayor and we're not elevating anyone. Yeah. It's just conversation. Correct. So sometimes it'll be comparison. So
yes.
Big up yourself, David West. I have to digest this piece because I don't know how to explain it. Does what we're explaining right now, this minute, what does it do to move in our community? Does it stop our community from moving forward? Is it hurting decision making? Is it hurting productivity for our community? That's a question for anybody here to participating or yourself.
Yeah. I think it really unlevels the playing field and makes it very difficult for newcomers like you in 2022 when you ran for mayor of the community. I mean, I'll give you a great example. I got onto somehow the mayor's email list. So his newsletter came out. So the newsletter in April was different than the one in May when he had declared. And yet it was exactly the same thing other than it had re-elect and what. So it's using the same resources that he's gathered over his period of time and just turning that resource into something that can aid him during the election. And I'm not saying that it happens lots of places, and I'm not saying it's just specifically to him, but it does make it hard for somebody to new coming into the game.
Anybody from out here want to say something?
So I guess I don't know, Phiona, if I will solve what you're thinking. I think what I'm seeing online, because Greg, I see a lot of those conversations, is when we're feeling that there's this gray area of how someone is using a platform, automatically there becomes this distrust. You feel a little manipulated. You feel like the person is quite self-serving. And so in that way, that can really hold the community back from moving forward and accomplishing things, because there's just there's a vibe. And as much as it's not tangible, it's there for people, and you can see it in the comments they're making. And so I often think, especially with social media, Phiona, you know I'm on it a lot. I do a lot of advocacy, and that's how we reach people a lot of time. There absolutely are horrid sides to it, and we shouldn't fully depend on it. The idea of banning it, to me, is an accessibility issue, and you're missing an entire swath of young voters by doing that. People who can't leave their homes, can't get to the Legion to hear a councillor or a mayor speak. People who are single parents don't have the time and the energy. It's often not about laziness. It's about they have other things in their lives that fall way higher for them in the immediate time that they need to deal with. A lot of them would like to make a difference because they see how it's impacting their family, but they just can't do it all. So a lot of times if you can, you're going to have to figure out how to use social media in a healthy and ethical kind of way. But I think cutting it out, you're cutting out an important piece of the population.
So point well taken, Mary Jo. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Social media, as much as it's been here for some minute, is very new. And I feel that from my experience. We were more creative. We were doing a lot more, and we could do a lot more. But my question now is, to your point of accessibility, have we lost the ability to record things and have it on a platform where it could be just YouTube? Because it's not so much social media, because we know everything's nebulous. The same thing that's good is bad. But what I find on social media is that people who say all kind of things and you lose context, you can't even get to explain yourself. And if you don't have 9 hours a day to keep going back and forth, you can literally sit there for the whole day trying to justify something. And I've seen counselors being accused of not being engaged because they don't respond to a comment. That's unfair.
Yes.
So it's not the overall social media I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to, let's stop the war, because it's creating a lot of divide. And half truth and lack of context. So I don't know what else we can share about, because this is a big one and we won't let it take up the whole podcast because it can easily do. But how can we acknowledge? So Nikki is a candidate and somebody says, yo, blah, blah, blah. How can Nikki say, hey, thank you. I managed to find time today to see this. Please jump on my page. Please jump on my YouTube page. Please sign up for my newsletter, because that's going to be coming out. Because we know that there's ample way to do things. And what's happening right now, from what I see, is too much war. It's like a literal war. Sometimes I'm wondering, is this person going to say hi to me when I pass them in the grocery store? Because we're forgetting that this is a big home. We live in Aurora. It's one big home. I just call it the living room. You get what I'm saying? So therefore, Rocco, when I see you next door, even if we don't agree, I can say, yo, you're good, and we genuinely mean it. But the attack you see online don't give you that atmosphere that we can talk. Right? So I try to ignore a lot of the things, and it's not because I know I'm very good with my words. And if you mess with me, I'm going to slap you back equally, because you know what? People try to expect certain behavior from certain people, and they want to talk to you a certain way. And I'm like, no, that's not cool. Right? So from me, and then you can give your summarized thought. And if anybody else want a last thought to this before we close off, is have the social media. Do what you need to do. Mm-hmm. But I think that counselors, we're talking about newsletter. Mm-hmm. Let's give the mayor credit for always having a social media. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to be on it, said, yo, take me off. Right? But always having not social media, always have a newsletter. Mm-hmm. Only a recent counselor, what's his name? Weiss? Yeah. Ron Weiss, mm-hmm. that started a newsletter. Other than that, nobody does. Right. That's, again, I'm pointing out to laziness, and I'm not backing down from how the laziness I've seen across the counselors. Because I don't see newsletters. I don't see town halls being called. I don't see letters coming to my mail. I don't see door knocking. Yo, shut up about talking about being effective. It's beyond just coming. Do you know that I will see a counselor, whether it's a counselor, mayor, all of them? A big issue will just happen at council. Where do they come first with it? A long, drawn-out note. That doesn't serve the people. You can go and say, hey, guys, something huge happened last night. I'm going to call a town hall next week, or I'm going to have a meeting at the cafe here to support a small business. Meet me there. Like, this is just basic. I know. Basic leadership skills. So don't get me wild on this one when it comes to that, because I'm so tired of the excuses. If our mayor is doing a bag of nonsense, so a lot of nonsense, if he's doing a lot of nonsense, we have counselors who should know how to step up and advocate. But we don't do that. Absolutely. So never let social media misguide you to think that this person is popular. Because you see someone everywhere don't mean they're effective. Effective is that bloody door knocking. Absolutely. Is that meeting people. So as we wrap up the social media conversation, Greg, because we know this could take us for the whole podcast. Yes. We're just asking leaders to do their jobs. Do your jobs. Yeah. A matter of fact, we need a job description, and we'll get back to that, because I can't imagine how we have these positions that are so critical without a job description. There's no job description. And without a job description, it's really hard to say this and that. But let's do your job. Mm-hmm. Post on social media, that's fine. But don't use it to divide our town. Don't use it to start a war. I agree. If you have a big issue and it's something that's important, hey guys, this issue happened at the market yesterday. We would love to hear from you. Town hall is next week. Here's my email. My newsletter is coming out. Sign up. I have something I will share. It will be on my YouTube. Mm-hmm. This way, I can communicate with you effectively. So I'll just encourage even our residents. Absolutely. Stop chasing after noise. These things become distraction. And we're busy hating each other instead of being a part of a solution. So that's my conclusion. What about you? Yeah, no, I think social media is to find out what time the concert in the park is and maybe who's performing. Awesome. Yeah. But to actually discuss meaningful topics and things like that, I think it's very limiting. And if that's where you're hearing about strong mayor powers or council compensation from somebody ranting on about it's good, it's bad, it's whatever it is, I think if that's where you're getting your source from and exclusively, I think it's biased and not helpful. You need to be able to look at issues from many sides. And I think that's social media's biggest downfall. You think, like just you mentioned, that everybody's following, everybody's part of the mayor's page or this counselor's page or whatever it is. Therefore, they got a big following. And I will add, because I was just talking about it to you while we were off, that when I was running in 2022, To my surprise, nobody knew the mayor.
Absolutely.
So don't get, what you call it, discouraged or try to measure up and estimate how your popularity or how well you're known. Because Aurora is a big town. Knock doors, get to know people, and let's do your thing. Each person do your thing. And I can say this whether, because again, a great leader is the one that can tell you what you do wrong, but also acknowledge what you do right. And one thing I can tell you that I've watched Tom, whether it was good, bad, or ugly, he's consistent. This is what he's going to do, and this is what he's going to do. What's our consistency? Is that your newsletter? Is that how you not do what it is? What are you known for? Whether you don't like my selfie or not, I'm putting it up. And I'm consistently going to do that. But don't let that distract you. Because we really make it distract us from the real meat. So you mentioned something about strong mayor power.
Yeah, well...
Why does this podcast sound like it's about mayor?
What's
Is it
that?
about the mayor?
No.
Okay. So I like this topic and I can't wait to start it. But let's start with the audience.
Okay, sure.
I love what the audience have to say about this, especially the two candidates. And guys, you know what? The candidates are residents. And I think I can speak that for them. I'm a person that ran in the election. We're people first. We are resident first. And so when all title is stripped, you're just a person. So I hope that as they speak today, it can just come from a place of authenticity and it's not feeling campaigny, because this is really just community people talking. So as we step into the strong mayor power conversation, does anybody want to add their $1 or their 2 cents or the 50 cents or 20 cents to it before we get open? Anybody? Okay.
So I guess the conversation is going towards strong mayoral powers is the discussion. So I think that there's two sides of this coin. And I've said it before that, I don't agree with the concept of strong mayoral powers because we have a council for a reason and we have, 7 votes. However, the flip side of the coin that a lot of people don't discuss is collusion between council. And is collusion between council, is that the same as strong mayoral powers? And I feel that we've lost that independent thinking. And part of the reason why I want to run for council is that independent thinking. I strongly believe there shouldn't be any alliances whatsoever. And collusion is just as bad as strong mayoral powers, I think. And I think we need to get rid of both.
Explain that, please, because you're saying collusion, and not everybody might understand what you're saying.
So I'm referring to collusion as combined votes between councillors. Buddy votes. It's called a couple things, but I call it collusion. And I feel that some people aren't voting the way they should because they're trying to help a friend on council. Or and I truly believe that independent voting is the most important thing. And I think the residents are going to benefit from an independent thinking council.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Anybody else want to share before Greg and I take a hit at it?
So I completely agree. I think that people need to vote independently, and that goes on both sides. I think everyone should be voting on behalf of their constituents and on what they think on a specific topic. That being said, I've spoken on it before. I don't agree with strong mayor powers because I think it's fundamentally not democratic. I think, sometimes I have an argument with someone and I lose. I don't just get to wave my wand and say, poof, your opinion doesn't matter. Now I win. And I feel as a resident, because I'm not a counselor, I'm a resident, I'm a voter, that when my counselor's vote just gets poofed, that means my vote got poofed. My vote didn't matter. My voice doesn't matter. And so that's why I just fundamentally don't agree with strong mayor powers. That being said, I think at the root of it is, are our councillors accurately representing their constituents? And I've seen a lot of excuses, especially on social media, that people are kind of excusing strong mayor powers under the idea that perhaps the councillors aren't voting on behalf of their constituents or in the best interest of Aurora. And that's why strong mayor powers had to be used. And my argument to that is go out and vote. If you don't think your counselors are voting on behalf of you, then you need to get out. You need to understand what each of the candidates stand for and that they will listen to your voice, that they will vote on behalf of you, not on behalf of their friends or just against someone that they don't like. And then we wouldn't have that excuse for strong mayor powers, because you would hopefully have counselors that are voting on behalf of their community.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, strong mayor powers. I think part of the challenge is the Ontario government implemented it, and the problem is it's so wide open how it can be used. And it depends, like the whole concept was to avoid NIMBYism, to allow housing to be built when, not my backyard kind of thing happened. I get that concept, but it was broadened to, the budget and to committees, and even the structure now of how town council works is now committee of the whole with one council, where we used to have 2 general committee meetings a month and 2 council meetings a month. So the broad changes that can be adapted by one person using strong mayor powers is way greater than I think what the spirit of strong mayor's powers was to build homes. What do you think? Oh, I'm gonna specific. Do you think strong mayor powers should be used on things like council compensation?
I can't answer that question. That's not even a fair question. And why
No?
it's not a fair question, you just said the exact reason why it's not. They made a very broad
Yes,
description.
absolutely.
Spider-Man movie says, well, great power comes great responsibility. I always love that line in that movie. But here's my beef.
Okay.
My beef is not with the strong mayor power. I don't even worry about that. That doesn't even shift me 1 second. Okay. I don't even lose a minute's sleep over that.
I get
okay?
that. Yep.
And I will never fault someone who is giving something from using it if they feel that it's going to help them or it's going to help the community, because I don't know what that person's thinking. Okay. I might not agree that you use it for that, but I cannot blame you. I have to go blame the source for putting this in your hand. And now you're using it and it's causing damage based on my experience. If I feel it's causing damage from my experience, but it's not this person that's going to fix it because you gave this to me. I'm going to do what I can do because your guideline you give me is not even clear. But here's the thing now. And this I will say very, very carefully and slowly because it matters. Here's what I know. I know that if I sat on council and there was a veto power going on like this, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't bother me because I'm going to do my work comes hell or high water. Here's why. And take this with a grain of salt. Okay? Greg, I'm a black woman. You can't see it?
I noticed.
Black as that.
I just noticed. Yeah. Yeah.
And Greg, here's the thing. Whether we like it or not, I'm coming out of a generation where we've been lynched, raped, murdered. We're not even considered human being. We even just today, we're still have to advocate to have inclusion and to be seen as human being. So guess what? For me, Phiona Durrant, as a black woman, with all the intersectionality, and even as a woman, I understand that I'm always been vetoed from the day of my life. My people have always been vetoed. We don't live included. So therefore, when I step into these roles, it taught us how to advocate, how to initiate, how to create. I'm not going to sit here and worry about you, because here's what all of the councillors could have done if they really care about their people. There is a municipality act that says you have to meet quorum. Quorum, is that the right word?
Quorum's the
Quorum.
word, yes.
And each municipality have their own bylaw that talks about what quorum is. Yeah? Number one, if I'm really serious about action, I'm not just coming up on social media making noise because I hate somebody. Because a lot of these things come off as People's hate towards the mayor is blinding them from solution. That's my observation. Okay? Because you're going to be you, I can't change you. And I give you that example from a perspective of racism. How you feel about me is not my business. I can't change you.
Right.
I can change how I address you. I can change how I navigate, but I can't put my focus on you. I have to focus on where I want to go, what I'm going to accomplish in spite of how you feel about me. And it has to be the same. So here's the thing now. If we have majority of the councillors, had a majority, 4 of them, could have simply walked off. And if you had 600 people vote for you and you had 1,000 and in your ward and you can't get 50 people or 100 people to come to advocate every Tuesday night because you're not sitting behind the desk, you're sitting out here, the municipality would have to come in. A by-election would probably get called. That's how we are serious about our action. We don't sit there and complain. But this is what entitlement does. When you're entitled and you always, and I'm not, listen to me now. I don't have to explain myself. I've lived in the world for 20 years. Anybody know me already know me. If you don't know me, come check me out. Don't use this short podcast to make a conclusion. But because the 99.99% of the council is white, most of them have not really experienced what it is doesn't feel belong. So how can they navigate a veto when they don't even know what it is to be vetoed? So when I come into my community as a ward person, that's not going to stop my commitment to see what's going to happen to their road, what's happening to their garbage, what happened to my seniors who probably can't get out for grocery, what happened to people that their yard is not being cleaned and the landlord is renting these facility and not upkeeping our town to make sure our value go up. It's never going to do that.
Right.
And I will not sit on my seat if my people are not being heard. I will be going to council every week with 100, with 50 of them, with 500, whomever is coming with me until there's change. But we don't do that. Absolutely. I will be calling town hall. I'll be meeting in coffee shop. Come to my backyard. But we're fixing this. But we're very stush. In Jamaica, we say stush. Nobody wants to do the messy work. This is hard work.
Absolutely.
It's a part-time role that you have to put 150% in. If you're not willing to do that, we need to back up. But me sitting here, I can tell you quickly that Tom is the person I respect, just like I would respect anybody else. He's a person that disrespect me, and I've had to live with that and overcome it. But I choose healing, forgiveness, and the bigger picture over the personal thing. Because what he has done to me has not been different from what any other counselor have done. You feel me? But because the pressure is mayor, I don't worry about that. So even if I were to sit on council today, whether I endorse you tomorrow or today, my decision is mine. You can't buy me. I don't have favor from anybody. I don't beg favor from any of councillors, Greg, because guess what? You see, if tomorrow I want to tell you to go to jump Niagara Falls, I'm going to go tell you to jump Niagara Falls. You're not going to say, well, I gave you a bylaw and I passed this for you and I do this in the back door for you. I don't want any backdoor favor because I'll tell you when you're good today. And I'll tell you when you're bad tomorrow. I'll do it in private. And when you don't do right, I might be going public. So that's my feeling around veto.
But I hear that. And I understand that. But its impact is on whether or not good people are willing to put their names forward to run for council. And I'm glad that so many have, but it's a detriment if you are in a role that really, at the end of the day, you talk about disadvantaged people or racism or whatever, homeless people. Okay, we had a vote by the majority of council to go ahead with the men's transitional housing, 80 units on Yonge Street. Okay? So that got vetoed. So the whole concept of strong mayor powers was to build housing and to avoid NIMBYism. And in fact, it was used, in my opinion, for exactly the wrong, right against the core fundamental value of NIMBYism and strong mayor powers. And that to me is, we have a mayor to the north. I won't even use his name because of my reference to the one to the south. But he was given that opportunity for strong mayor powers and he turned it down. And leadership, collaboration, working with everybody, I agree with you 100%, is the role of a leader and role of each individual councillor, not to be collusion or that type of thing. But I think that hammer of the veto is not a good thing to have over council's head. And then the rest of us just go and say, well, at the end of the day, there's no sense putting in budget ideas because it's going to be up to whoever the person that holds strong mayor powers. It's totally their call. They can include this, not include that. It's up to them. I think that's wrong.
Greg, the solution is simple.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what policy comes in place. The people are the people that always shift the decision. And if a councillor, if councillors who say they are like-minded can't full support and effect change, then I'm sorry. There's no excuse.
I don't disagree with you on that.
Okay? So what I'm saying is, a lot of times we're focusing on this is the problem, but zero person is showing me a solution, an active solution.
Well,
when I started to run for mayor in 2022, guys, I called the mayor and I said, "Can you give me some advice?" You know what the mayor told me? Yay! Lord Jesus, help me. The mayor says, Mary Jo, the mayor told me, "Phiona, let me be blunt with you. You being black is going to be seen very negatively here."
yeah.
Make that digest for a minute.
Look, I believe that's what he said 150%. I agree that that's what he said.
And Rocco, make it digest for a minute that my business was closed maybe a little bit over a year ago because somebody spat in my face here in Aurora and said, "Black bitch," all because I was parking in a space that I'm entitled to park.
It's terrible.
Not one councillor or mayor reached out to me. Not one. And when I reach out to my candidate for my ward, the person says, "I was in Florida." I don't give a fly. You're on social media posting about your trip, but I'm still your constituent.
Yeah.
Now that I'm telling you, there was no empathy. There was no, let me call this out now. You were on vacation. God bless your soul. I'm a self-care person. I'm glad you did that. But now that you heard, nothing was done. So what I'm saying to you, it was just probably, you can research it, but it's at least 1918, 1920 that women as a whole is being able to vote and get involved. I don't have the legacy to sit down and worry about who's misuse viewing power. My decision is decision-making, advocacy. And it's not impossible.
Yeah, but again, you and I might have different views. And going back to your strong mayor powers, believe me, I had discussions with people about utilizing quorum and issues about doing. But again, back to our conversation about two sides of things. A lot of councillors look at it as being, I'm not going to stall the people's business from moving. Hang on. So that is their side of things. Though I totally agree with you. You have to stand up and fight against it.
Somebody said it out here already. A lot of excuses. Rocco said something very powerful earlier. Like, a lot of these things are excuses. We have to do better. We just have to do better. You're talking about, this is how we play with people's emotion, okay? Mm-hmm. You're talking about the transition home. Yeah. Yo, how many of the people who sat on council know what it feels to be hungry or ever have to experience a hunger? How many have ever?
I've never had a child, but I can understand.
I've asked them around
the challenges of being a mother.
How many of you have gone without home?
Yeah.
When I went to that meeting and I spoke up, is because I witnessed that.
Yeah,
My baby is 6 months old or 3 months when we were on the street.
yes.
You can't talk to me about suffering. So therefore, when I stand up and I say, we need this because you make it look like it's because these are drug dealers or killers or murderers. It's my next door neighbor who you just don't know is sleeping on someone's garage. You might not like it in that location, and I respect that. But equally, as much as I feel for that and I would love it there, I'm a realist. Aurora might not be a place that want to feel that because some areas in real life, it's true. Some areas you just can't afford to live and you're going to have to look somewhere else. And that's just a fact that we don't want to accept because we want to be inclusive. But the truth is, when I'm going to Jamaica and I go to Beverly Hills, I can't I can't go ask for affordable homes in Beverly Hills in Jamaica. No, it's just not that community. So yes, I can see both sides. But what I'm saying here, we could have had that had John Gallo not vote no. It was not about Tom. Vote yes and let it get vetoed out. But if we vote no first and then we bring it back after the town already shut it down. York Region already shut it down from December 24th. Right. So we don't play with people's emotion by now rehash that thing because you know your political agenda and then hurt people's feelings because you know your vote was the only one missing. So now all you have to do is vote yes. And now the mayor is going to I veto this. And now it looks like, oh yes, Tom vetoed this and Tom vetoed that. I know we don't want to make this podcast about this, but we got to be real people. Give to Caesar what due to Caesar. When I see someone who's running for mayor now want to post every day and be at events that they've never gone, never care, now I have to question you.
Well, I would disagree with that never cared part.
Well, yeah, that's a little bit reaching.
Yeah, because...
But you know what I mean? If we are authentic, we are authentic.
Authentic, I agree.
I'm going to wrap up with a few things I wrote down because...
Perfect.
One of my things that I'm working on is learning how to read off paper. I suck at it. I just can't. I just have too much in my head to look on a piece of paper it just doesn't work. But I want to read this if I can because...
Sure.
I wrote it
in
down.
English?
In English.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. Today.
Thank you.
The first one I'll read. Actually, I'll get you to read this one.
Okay. Okay.
Can you see?
I can, sort of.
Read that one.
Yeah, absolutely. You want me to start? Okay. Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln filled his cabinet with political rivals. Quote, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." Lincoln understood that governing required working with people who disagreed with him. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We're missing that.
Absolutely.
We're missing that. And we think disagreement is hate. So disagreement is not hate.
Yes.
And why I want to read this is because I was home, we're renovating our home. And boy, you don't want to see what we're living through right now. It's a nightmare.
Yes.
And so my husband was trying to say something, and I kind of didn't agree. And I thought, child, leave me alone. And he's so amazing. And he's a guy that when he's working, he becomes what's those little puppy that's just... What are those little puppies? The one that will just grab at you. I don't know. Chihuahuas? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he has a jumpy spirit at that point. He just want to be left alone, and he's a good work alone person. Don't mess with me. I'm focused. And I'm not that, eh? I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And so we had we exchanged a few words just in tension, nothing bad. And I thought, can you imagine we remember that when elected officials are just people? We put such thing, I don't know what coding we put on them.
Absolutely.
To think that they even know budgeting, no family, no communication. They don't.
Absolutely.
They might not know. These are day-to-day people who get up and say, yeah, I'm either going to retire on this job, let's wish me good luck to get it. Or this job look easy, let me get it. Or I really love community and I want to chase some changes, let me do it. And I thought that somebody reached out to me and she said, I saw that you endorsed the mayor. I think you should take it back or something like that, she said. And I said, and why would you say that? She said, I voted for you in the last election, A, B, C, D, E, Y, F, G. And I said, oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But can you tell me who I should endorse? She said, just be silent about your opinion because you are people. I think she was trying to say people support you and love you and will follow what you do and da 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 da. And I said, well, I respect that. But what I wish I had when I was running is someone who will take the risk and speak up publicly and say, I like this girl. Or I don't know about this girl, but I like that she put her name out and have some courage. Check her out. You get what I'm saying? The silent support is not what I'm looking for because here's what. Because again, I have to draw from my lived experience. So it's not a black this, black that. And if that make you uncomfortable, then let's talk. But when I know what it is to work with phony people who are pretending that they like, the black culture, what you're doing, and they're going to pretend, you don't want that. No disrespect, and I don't like Trump, but sometimes you prefer a Trump who will tell you who they are so you know how to be around them and know what to watch for. So what I was saying to her is that, no, I won't be silent about my decision. I didn't say every part of this person is good. I didn't say I support every part of this person, but I said at this moment, in this era, this is where I want my decision to go. Mm-hmm. And trust me, if I were to run and I'm sitting there, this person have no control over me, to your point about the collision business there. I don't do that nonsense. I am me. If it makes sense, yes. If it don't make sense, it's a no. So I thought to myself that, can you imagine when we have friends? Do you agree with all of your friends' actions? No. Do you agree with all of your spouse's actions? No. But you don't get up and divorce every day. You know what I mean? You don't go throw the person on social media and do whatever every day. Because Nelson Mandela is somebody I learned a lot from. A man that had been in prison merely for being black for 27 years and came out of prison and said, we're not going to fight. We're going to bring people together. Black, white, pink. And look, just go study that man if you want to know anything about leadership.
Absolutely.
Because one of the things he also said, he was talking at a press conference somewhere, probably in 1990, and he said, your enemy is not my enemy. Because a lot of times what we try to do, Rocco, is that if somebody don't like you and I'm talking to you, people assume that, oh, now I shouldn't talk to her because she's, get out of here with this high school business. Yeah. Because you and I chemistry might work differently. It doesn't mean I agree with everything and not gonna, but come on, we are just one community.
Yeah. So
in wrap, I will try to go back because I was trying to do my paper and I still didn't do it like I said, but in wrap.
Do you want me to read the
You would probably do a better job.
That's okay. Go ahead.
You'll do a better No, I'm good. You'll do a better job. And lastly, let me say this, guys. When you get in, and I hope you all do, you all seem like good folks. Be cautious in your campaigning as candidates who sits here. Be cautious in, for example, take veto power. I don't like veto power. Okay. Nobody cares about whether you like veto power or not. I want to know what you're going to do when you have to work with it. Because the same person who said they weren't going to do it before is the same person that took the veto power. So I don't trust people like that easily. Because people say what they have to say until the rubber meets the road, they quickly make a decision. You're like, oh, I thought you weren't going to do this. But we are just human beings. So when you are saying you don't like that, make sure everyone know that whoever comes to the table, I'm ready to work with you. Yeah. That's what needs to matter. As a candidate, can't tell you what to do. But what I'm not looking for is someone who's putting out things against the current mayor, because what it tells me is that, oh, if you get in, you're going to just be working with this person. Or if you get in, you're going to, and then it's the same nonsense that we're trying to get rid of. We want independent thinker. I might like somebody, if you look at my post, if you go on the Aurora town, if you're in that post, somebody went and commented on a 6-year-old post. It pops up yesterday. I don't even know what she's asking me. I didn't even bother to respond. But I had said something very nice about John Gallo. Obviously, she disagrees in this post. And I was going to yo, lady, this is 6 years ago. Where did you find this? Honestly. But that to me is, my decision in where I do and how I support has nothing to not liking you. When you're great, and I'm going to say it. Right? So please don't back down from how you are vocal about who you support. Just make sure you don't disrespect the other person's perspective. Because what I would say to that lady who asked me about the endorsement, I said, what is democracy? If you can have your voice, but I can't mine. Does democracy meaning mine need to match yours? Because that's not democracy.
Yep. But Phiona, I'm going to say back to my perception is reality thing. Unfortunately, nowadays, you endorse anybody, doesn't matter who it is. They're going to have a group of people that doesn't matter they're going to be, then that person must be great or whatever it is. I've noticed with a lot of endorsements, and I've had conversations with our guests in the audience about it, is I think for a lot of small business owners in particular, it's quite a risk. I mean, you can support and do whatever you want for anybody. But to me, when you go as a small business owner and you make an endorsement, the only opportunity you have is to lose customers.
And that is pathetic.
That is true, though.
100% pathetic, because here's what you're telling me as a business owner.
What's that?
That I have to be quiet and shut up and I don't have any voice if we were respectful of people's decision, you don't just come stop buying bread from me because you don't like my vote. This is not a provincial, federal, even then, we're just town of Aurora. I ran Coconut Village. I'm going to wash your feet. I'm not going to cut your toe intentionally with the nail clip.
Well, did it twice, but I mean, jeez, that's okay.
But guys, I hear what you're saying, and it has its point.
Yes.
But it's sad. It's sad. Because we need to say, you know what, I endorse Joe.
Yeah, but Phiona, you can say it as an individual. An owner of a business can say it as an individual. But when you say it as the president of a sports organization, or, if I was to say something because I sit on the library board and I go, library board member, it is ridiculous, in my opinion, that you tie that business organization to your personal belief. Just like we said at the very beginning, you and I are our own individual comments and whatever it is. You can do that all you want. Mm-hmm. And I respect people to be able to speak. I just don't know when people create a perception that they're speaking on behalf of 6,000 soccer families or
that's
whatever.
Wrong. That's wrong. But if I own Coconut Village and it's just me and I'm not a soccer organization, I'm going to say, hey, as Coconut Village, this person has been there for my business. I really want to, because that matter. I'm still a person and a resident.
Absolutely.
So I can say that. But yes, maybe as a soccer holder or whatever, where you have a big board and you have everything, you got to be conscious of that. Unless the organization itself and the board already approved that and say we're going to approve you, and that's within their bylaw. I don't know.
Yeah,
right.
I don't have an issue with that. But
Greg, we're gonna stop here, sir. We're gonna stop here. So you understand what I say?
Yeah. Okay.
Let me say.
You said stop something. Stop something.
All right. So this is beautiful. Oh. Yeah. I think we already did it.
I wrote it. I wrote that.
No, that's okay.
Good.
So Nelson Mandela also said this. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. What he's trying to say is, me not working with you, it's not serving the community.
Yes.
I don't have to like you, but we have a job to do. So you get the hell here at the meeting, and we need to plan. You follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
So what he was just trying to say, like him, people want him to do all kind of things, and Nelson Mandela said, that's not how we're going to get problem solved here today. But Aurora is filled with amazing people. We just have to start engaging people one at a time. And we will see the shift. And for people, towards Greg, what was saying, do your own evaluation of who you want to support and how you do it.
Yes.
And hey, if we have a perception, I think we can reach out. Like, I respect that lady reach out to me and say whatever. And then I had the time to just say back to her, hey, I'm going to do Phiona. You know what I mean? I respect you, but I'm going to do Phiona. You're going to either respect me for my honesty or fake loving me for my pretentious way and for being a hypocrite. I'm not going to do that.
Absolutely.
I am me 100%. Every part of me is going to be who I am. But you better believe one thing. I can never be bought. You can't tame me. I don't care if you pay my mortgage last week and you're going to go tell people about it. That's your problem. You know, I am going to bring to the table the issue that I'm going to bring to the table. Right. So as we wrap up, we want to say enough respect. Thank you so much. You're going to be sending us some feedback and prepare for the next month. You're still going to come back or you're going to run away?
Absolutely. No, okay. We need to hear from
I didn't people. Scare you?
No, okay. We need to hear from the people watching.
We need to hear, we need to hear from you. We need to hear what your thoughts are. When this is made, we will, the people who spoke here will clip the pieces so you can post it on your own platform and have that. Enough respect, Richie. We appreciate you fanning the camera out.
Absolutely, Richie.
If you're ever looking for photography, videography, he's amazing. So thank you. And to the space, we bless this business. Our small business have been really struggling. We know it's hard.
Absolutely.
It's really hard. So we know we bless this business and we pray that they continue to flourish. And we're grateful for this space. And if anybody have a space that is not tied to any kind of, this and that. We want to be in your space to have the next one. So let us know who that will be and where that will be. To the audience, we love and appreciate you. Thanks for giving your 2 hours. That's a long time.
Yes.
Anything we're forgetting from anybody who wants to wrap up?
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here. I loved how the dialogue was open and how the conversation just kind of flowed where it flowed. What I would like to see more of next time, more topics. I mean, we were here for 2 hours, but I feel like we only covered a couple topics. And so I would love to see more different topics being covered. Yeah, thank you.
So yes, same. Thank you so much for having us in here. I just loved, and these are the conversations that I tend to have a lot of, but I agree with you, Phiona, that you have to be able to have the disagreements and stuff and still come out. So the combination of passionate takes on things of, hold on, I agree with you on that, but not on this, combined with like laughter and, smiles about things, that actually is just such a healthy way to interact. And I just really appreciate it today. It was really enjoyable. Learned a lot.
I'd like to say thank you to Phiona and Greg for inviting everybody over here and myself. I would say that the conversation was very enlightening, and having that different perspective is incredible. Something I can take back and kind of unpack and think about things. So thank you so much. It was enlightening.
Yes. Get from behind your keyboards. Get out there. Reach out to people that are running as candidates. Invite them to come, meet with them, talk to them. If you have accessibility issues, I'm sure they will gladly come to your place of residence to have a conversation. If you don't have time or have time, get behind a candidate that you like, help door knock, help do phone calls, whatever, get out the vote for people. If you can and afford to, maybe you can donate to help support some of these candidates who are spending a lot of time and a lot of their own money in order to go ahead for a part-time job you can get at Tim Hortons. Basically, let's be honest. That's kind of what you're going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars and hundreds, if not thousands, of hours banging on doors and so on. So, people at home, please answer your doors.
Yes,
please. I know sometimes it's inconvenience. You're watching the other Bennett sister and you're like episode 4 and you can't wait for 5. But no, answer your door, please, and engage with people. And I think that we have to do better than the turnout. When I ran last term in 2022 in Ward 6, we had 18% turnout.
Yeah, that's sad.
Okay, overall, I think it was like 26 was the overall, but we got to do better. Anyways, that's it.
Well, you hear it from the boss. And now we say peace out. We look to hear from your feedback and topics that you want us to talk on. Like Nikki says, we barely put a dent in some of the issues of our town. There's so many. So reach out to us so we can create some conversation around that. Thank you so much for being here today.
Peace out.
Good job.
Well,